So here we're going to be looking into drawing and designing the tiny cat. Here's the old sketches I did. That's a whole page of them. Now, get right into it. This is just to keep on exploring. Let's continue to look at different ways of designing tiny cat. So I start with the sphere like I usually do. Add in her ears up top. Just the outlines there, so I get an idea as to where the drawing is going to go. Bring down the elliptical eyes here, and I'm going to give her some cute eyeballs. So she's kind of looking at something, really concentrating on something, and I draw the iris outside the pupil. Little dark, heavier line on top of the eye. Little eyebrows there. And continue with her head being a little bit bigger up top. Now let's give her some cheeks there. Here's her muzzle, and cuteness just continues here. Here I started to figure out, well, should her neck be as thick as her head, almost as thick as her head? Then I thinned it down. I added her two front legs first to her cute little body. Put her tail up behind her like that. Thickened up her eyebrows just a little bit. Now I scoot the paper over, and this time when I draw her, I'm tilting her head to give her even more cuteness. And here's her muzzle and her mouth. I made her forehead, this one, a little bit bigger. Her ears are a little bit bigger, and I pulled one paw up just so that she can be kind of the curious tiny cat. Tail is sticking straight up because she's really into figuring out what is this thing over here. Extend her paw out. Now let's try a profile of her body and her head as she's kind of taking a half step here. And I was figuring out, well, how should her head be posed in this? Should it be extended out a little bit, or should it be back and up? So I'm going with its back. So here's her ears going in again. And her cute little mouth and everything else. So I did all this with blue pencil, because this is what you do when you're exploring different ideas for characters. And I went over this one with one of those graphite pencils that's, I guess it's just lead encased inside of plastic. And these, I think, usually come from Europe, Eastern Europe somewhere. This might be a 9B, now I'm using a 4B. That's two different brands there. And here I'm finishing up with either a general pencil or an ebony pencil. Looks like it's an ebony design pencil. Just darkening in some of the lines there. Then I decided I'm gonna go back to drawing number 1 and start to darken that one in. Please excuse my hand for covering up most of the drawing as I do it, but again, I'm using the ebony pencil on this one. And what did I decide to do? I think I decided I was going to just use a pen. So this is one of those pens that I bought some years ago, and it's a brush pen. I believe the brand is Itoya, something like that, and it comes with cartridges of ink. I had one that I bought a long time ago, but it eventually went bad, so I had to buy another one to replace it. And you'll notice I'm holding the pen a little bit straight up, because that's, for me, is a very good way to control the bristles, the brush. Now I just go back to holding it like I'm using a pencil, and I kind of vary some of the lines here and there. And now I'm using a different brush pen. I think this one is Pentel. I think this is a Pentel brush pen. Slightly different type of brush, much finer line in some respects than the other one. And here I'm darkening in all the fur. I get a bit more detail on the fur with this pen. Little chest tufts there. Their little tiny feet. And extend her arm out she wants to touch something. And when I redo this one, I'll redo her paw so it's not looking like it's tamping down, but it'll have her paw open more. You would see more of her palm, I think, if she was doing something like this. So there's 3 more poses of the tiny cat.